Joining me now are Mark Vonner and Mike Valila. Mark is the CEO of the Veterans Development Corporation. Mike is the new department adjutant taking over for Dan Stack at the Disabled American Veterans Department of Massachusetts. And they're joining me today to talk about, well, one, the great work that the DAV does, but we have a big event coming up here next month, October or November? Where are we here? November 5th, right?
November 11th.
November 11th coming up here for the DAV 5K. And gentlemen, thanks for joining me, first and foremost.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to get to the race, and I'm excited to go just get absolutely demolished by everybody else that's out there. I think I placed like 300 last year, so very excited about that. My kids are excited to get downtown, and last time they got to, pet a state trooper horse, so they had a very good time as well. But before we get into the race, I want to talk a little bit about the work that the DAV does. Mike, you've been with the DAV in a number of different capacities since 2017. So can you talk to me about the Disabled American Veterans Department, who they serve, and their core function today?
Absolutely. So DAV, we're one of the oldest, largest veteran service organizations in the country. We're 103 years old. Here within the Department of Mass, we have tons of services and programs that we offer at no cost to the veterans that we serve. Claims and benefits assistance is where we start. That's kind of our premier service that we provide and do a real great job at that. We can also follow veterans through appeals on any of their benefits, which keeps them from having to go out of pocket with an attorney. We have housing programs, which is very new to DAV. Nationally, DAV's never done housing before, but the department invested in it a few years back, and we've had wild success with it throughout Central Mass. We also have a transportation network, gives veterans free rides to and from any VA medical appointments, voluntary service programs within all the VA hospitals across the state.
And Mike, just can you get into a little bit about your personal background and how you got involved, and just how it might relate to others out there that were in the service at one point or another?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think my story is pretty similar to most veterans. I came home and got out of the military, and I was looking for a place to connect with other veterans. And, you end up joining or participating along with quite a few organizations, VFW, Legion, Wounded Warrior, the list goes on and on. But DAV is the one that I found that really stuck. It had a very family-friendly atmosphere from the jump and was just very accepting. Everything that I saw within the organization, too, everything was so geared towards service to the veteran. Nothing else really mattered at the end of the day. And statistically, when you look at other organizations, dollar for dollar, what they're doing with the money they have coming in, DAV falls, top of the scales. It's like 97 cents of every dollar goes directly back to the veteran. So
fantastic.
I came in at first as a national service officer, so I was doing claims, benefits, and appeals at the JFK building in Boston. Then a few years ago, I decided to step back from that because I wanted more of the personal interaction with veterans, and I became a case manager for our housing program. And then shortly thereafter, I was appointed to assistant adjutant for the department. And as you mentioned when we came on, just a few weeks ago, September 10th was the official date. I was appointed as the department adjutant.
Well, congratulations. And I've mentioned we're also joined today by Mark Vonner. He's the CEO of the Veterans Development Corporation, who is also the presenting sponsor of the race coming up on November 11th. Mark, would you mind talking a little bit about your company and your involvement with the DAV?
Oh, absolutely. So we're a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business. I started with Dan Stack, the originator of
predecessor,
and we became very close.
Great.
I consider Dan a family member, as I do Mike. And we're a general contractor that has a set-aside program that across the nation we went and lobbied Congress to pass the bill.
Wow.
And right now we're doing tons of work in the VA healthcare system.
Excellent. So let's jump over to the crux of the interview, and what I'm most excited about is the main event for this year, which is the DAV 5K. What is it? How long has it been going on? And what are we looking forward to here coming up?
So the DAV 5K Boston is a phenomenal event. It's held at Castle Island in Boston. If you've never been to Castle Island, phenomenal venue.
Beautiful.
We start right inside the castle to begin the morning. And when the race begins, we have the artillery company from the Mass National Guard there. They blast off the howitzer. We have the mounted state police on horse. Our honor guard is there with a firing party as well. It's a walk, run, or roll, so you can run, jog, or walk the 5K. There's also an option to do a 1 mile loop around the castle. I go every year for the past 8 years now with my kids. I have a 14-year-old and a 3-year-old. Pull the baby in the wagon. There's some guys who are there who have the hand-pedaled bicycles or other assistive devices to make it through. Some that are in wheelchair, but no matter how you go about it, it's just a really great day out. And at the end, you conclude inside the castle. Tons of vendors are there. Paul Wahlberg comes down and cooks up a whole bunch of food for everybody.
Yeah.
The sausage guy's there, and so many other vendors. So you leave with a full stomach as well.
It was pouring rain last year, and I had a fantastic time regardless.
Yeah.
I will say my 6-year younger brother and 20 pounds lighter managed to beat me in the race by about 2 to 3 minutes. So I might have to bust his knee before the next race this year or something like that. But details of the race again. You said it's November.
So it's November 11th.
November 11th, and last check a week ago, I think 700 plus people had already registered for the race, so it's going to be packed house.
Correct. It's just over 700 that had registered as of last week, just over 200 of them being veterans themselves. Again, this race is open to anybody who's looking to support the DAV, veteran or non-veteran. So we have a lot of community partners, lots of families of veterans that come out, and veterans themselves. It's a great day for anybody of all ages.
I can attest to that. Non-veteran here, and I've had a very fun time at the last few that I have gone to. We talked about the DAV's mission a little bit and the work that it does, but the funds raised specifically from this race, do you have a sense for the goals and then what happens with the money that's being raised as part of the DAV 5K Boston?
Yeah, so all the money raised from our 5K goes directly back to our service programs, some of them that I outlined earlier for you. So our housing program, our transportation network, our voluntary service program, all of our claims offices across the state, the money raised goes directly into continuing to facilitate and run those programs at no cost to veterans and their families.
That's fantastic. So I want to give you a minute here, but if people still want to learn more about the race, what is the website that they should go to get more information? I think it's DAV 5K Boston, or
Yep. So it's DAV 5K Boston. You can pull up for a site, or if you just go to our department's website, davma.org, there's a quick link right at the top to it. You can also find us on Facebook at DAV Massachusetts or DAV 5K Boston. You can pull us either way.
And beside the 5K, I mean, Mark or Mike, please feel free to jump in here. But for somebody that just might not be available on November 11th, wants to learn more, wants to get involved, and just wants to learn more either about your corporation or the DAV, Mark, Mike, any suggestions on ways to get involved and things they can be doing?
So there's actually, we started this during the pandemic. It kind of grew out of what we were dealing with at the time. But we do have a virtual option. So those who aren't able to attend in Castle Island that day, if they contact us, we can give them everything they need to do it on their own, at home or in their own community, and still take part. Or if they'd like to just support DAV another way, we're always seeking volunteers. All of our programs, as I said, coming in at no cost, they're run by our very strong volunteer basis. So they can contact us again through davma.org. All our contact information is there. There's even a chat box where you can communicate with us live. You can sign up for our monthly newsletter that shows all of our volunteer opportunities, and there's information there as well if you'd like to make a donation. Fantastic. That's Mark Vonner, who's the CEO of Veterans Development Corporation of America, the presenting sponsor, and then speaking just now, Mike Valila. He's the new department adjutant taking over for Dan Stack of the Disabled American Veterans Department of Massachusetts. The race again, November 11th. I'll be there. Very excited about it this year and look forward to seeing you both there. Thank you so much for coming on the Financial Exchange and talking to us about it today.